Hey guys, how you doing? It's KJ here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends, and what a weekend of Raid Shadow Legends we have had. So for those of you who haven't been living under a rock, or for those of you that have even, on I believe it was Friday or Saturday, we had JGigs upload a video calling out Raid content creators. And as you can imagine, it got around and the big creators have done their, this is what we think, this is our take, this is us reacting to it, responding to it. And on the whole, like I do, and I think like a lot of the community do, they agreed with him. And JGigs has since done his second video on the subject, just readdressing some of the things that got raised by other creators and commenters and things like that. But I wanted to come at it from A, someone who used to spend and doesn't really anymore, and B, a smaller creator that I don't have the link. I like JGigs, I don't have the link to Plarium. I don't qualify for content creator program, never have, and the way the game's going, I can't see the content creator program being around long enough for me to qualify for it. It's just the way it is. But I have spent relatively heavily in this game since I first started playing it, and I'm not going to hype on the fact, there's no content in this game. Sand Devils, Phantoms, all dungeons, Iron Twins, Hydra. There's no content in this game. Only thing I have never tested whether I can run is Nightmare Clan Boss, because we haven't unlocked it. That's the only reason I haven't tested it. But I haven't spent majorly on this game besides raid card, but that's because I play on mobile. 90% of the time I'm playing this game, I'm on my phone or I'm on an iPad. I'm on something that isn't my PC. And that's personal preference. So I account for, what, $9.99 a month worth of what they actually earn. But besides that, I just manage my resources. So I have things sat around that I can use. I have champions to train that I haven't booked. But as I said, I used to spend quite heavily. I don't anymore for the same reasons JGigs has mentioned in his videos. Like, you don't have to spend to enjoy this game. I know that's... And the thing I think a lot of people get wound up with by that statement is a lot of people who say that spent heavily so they could beat 99% of the game and then stopped. Which sort of destroys the point of saying, I'm free to play. I never claim this account will be free to play. I will never have this account claimed as free to play, because for it to be free to play, you've got to have never spent on the account. You can claim, I'm a low spender now because I spend $9.99 a month and I get no perks, no content creator perks, no nothing. That is the only thing I put into this game every month, is that one thing. But the theory he's getting at is that as a community together we can make a stand, but we can, but only if it's at the top end. So having 30,000 people who only spend $9.99 a month say, right, we're not going to spend in all of December, that's fantastic. That they're going to notice that, because that's $300,000 they're not going to make, which they will notice. But if you then still have the top 5% of the game's spenders spending 10 grand that month or 5 grand that month, actually, even if you've got 5,000 people spending £5,000 each, that is a lot more money than they're going to lose by the 300,000 compared to the 300,000 they'd lose with 30,000 low spenders not spending. And I'm not saying they wouldn't notice that. They would feel that, and they would feel that quite quickly. But the thing is, while they're still doing things like this champion pass, while they still have this champion pass available, and they are doing this, and people are willing to do it, things will not change. And the people who get a pass on this, as people who said, this is really bad value, and then bought it anyway, are people that bought it for a reason. Content creators. Every content creator whose video I've seen, I watch a lot of raid content on YouTube. I watch all of the big creators. Everyone from Hades to Nub to Deadwood, Ash, JGigs. There aren't many YouTubers of a reasonable size I don't watch, because I enjoy their content. I enjoy the game. But every one of them has come out and said how bad a value this is. And a lot of them have gone out and bought it and then had their communities or other communities come in and say, well, why did you tell us not to buy it if you're going to do it? They're content creators. They need this champion because people are going to want to know what this champion is like. If she becomes available again, do I summon for her? Is she worth summoning for? Will she make a difference on my account? And the only way they can do this is if they pull her, they level her, they gear her out, and they run her in various different stages and content in the game. But they have to do this. It's just the way it works. And while things like this are happening, that's going to continue to go on. The thing that we need to be looking at is the wider issue with things like champion training. Like Nub pointed out, every time we progress, they just push this further on. And this isn't something... I'm not actively doing this fusion. I just did some champion training this weekend. I wanted to just level some champions out. So I've ended up here. I'm not actively seeking it. I won't actively seek a fusion until they level out and decide that upping the points threshold we need ups the rewards we get for it. So the rewards here are no better than they were 6 months ago, but the points are higher, the fragments are harder to get, the fusion itself is harder to get. Because I think you need, for this, 110 fragments available, and there's only 100. There's 100 you need to do the summon, and I think there's only 115 available. And only 5, maybe 10 are from actual tournament rewards. So you need to do every event and get pretty much every fragment from every event to complete this fusion, which is ridiculous. We shouldn't be in a position where you need to complete every event and get every reward to actually get the champion. You should be able to skip sub or put some higher up. So you move the margin a little bit with one, but then you can get a pass on another event. Dropping the second summon event from this fusion has made a massive difference and has made it much more expensive and much more unobtainable for a large portion of the player base. It's just got to the point where it's not worth it. We are no longer spending money in this game to get ahead. This game now has become you spend money to keep up. If you're a player who finishes in plat every week and you stop spending, you will just fall behind, and then next thing you know, you're a gold 5 player. Gold 4. You're up here. As soon as you stop spending, this becomes you. You're up at this point. Let's just push back up. You're up at this point, and you can't compete. I have some very good champions, some very good gear, and I can complete, on this account, all content in the game. There is nothing I can't do. Apart from plat. Because I don't stay up to date with meta champions, I won't just go and buy $500 worth of void shards because there's a void 2x on. I'll save my shards, and if I've got shards I will pull them, but I won't go and buy them for it. Because it's just become bad economy. All you do at that point is you are pushing more money into the game because you are comparing your account to someone else's account. Your enjoyment has become that embedded on comparing yourself to other players that you just do not have any enjoyment left from just playing the game and enjoying it, taking your time with it, enjoying the content. So do I think his theory of a month off will help? Yes, if it's the right people helping. If it's the right people who aren't spending. And now, I know a few content creators will look at this and go, do you know what, actually, yeah, 1 month of not spending will make a difference. And I agree, like, I already know that JGigs has said from the 1st of December to the 1st of January, do not spend in this game, and I'm with him. I've had the raid pass active on this account since I started, since I could first get it. I constantly have it active. And for the first time, I will be cancelling it at the end of this month. It will not be renewing, and I will not be buying it again until January. And I know that's only $10, but that is something. That is a contribution to helping with the community. So if there's something you do where you can just go, well, do you know what? I'm going to have 1 month where I'm just going to have my in-game resources that I get for free. And even if we get nothing out of it, even if after that month they do not come out and say, right, what do we need to change? Or, right, how do we start to repair this? We will at least be in a better position to have an actual conversation with Plarium about the difference that is needed. Because it's no good going to Plarium going, right, this is shit. Okay. Because they're just going to go, okay. Okay, they're going to be on the back foot. They're going to step back and go, right, we're not having this conversation with you. But if as a community we can turn around and go, right, this isn't right. We need to look at this. So we'll go back to the events. We'll go back to the champion training one. But if we as a community go, so what, actually, look. So you've pushed these points up 10% in 12 months. But the rest of the rewards up to where the fragments end are exactly the same. They are no better. You're telling us we need to put 10% more resources into finishing this event. You're not going to give us anything extra for doing it. People are going to stop doing them. So we need to be able to say, right, this is a change we need, and this is why, or this is the direction you could go to do it. And creators have been trying to do this for some time. I've seen so many videos by How Hades, Ash, Deadwood, Nubs, the HH network even, coming out and saying, right, this is unacceptable, we need to do this, or they can look at this, or how about changing this? But we as a community need to be at that point where we have enough people trying to have the conversation with Plarium, even if it's just via social media, that they are forced to actually sit down, reevaluate, reassess, and actually listen to the community as a whole and say, right, this is where we are, this is where we want to be. How do we all get there and get back to a point where you've got people who were spending in the game will want to come back, start playing, and start spending? And I think that's going to be a long road. It's going to take more than a month. A month of not spending might start this conversation. But we are talking 3, 6, 9, maybe even 12 months with some of these things in the game to get it back and balanced to a point where the community are happy with even 60 or 70% of the content of this game. Just get the balance back and everyone will slowly start to trickle back and feel like the game is worth picking up. It's worth spending on, because people like spending on this game. It's a gacha game. People understand they have to spend in order to be able to do certain things. You're always going to have a paid element to these games. It's the way they function. But when you get to the point where a large portion of your player base don't want to spend on your game, you have to be willing to reassess, have the conversation, and just say, right, how do we get back to the point we were at? So that is enough ranting for one video. Anyone who's stuck around to the end, thanks for watching, and hopefully we as a community can step up and be the change in this game we want to see to keep this game alive and moving, so we can have a 5th year and a 6th year anniversary. Because the way it's going, middle of next year, middle of 2024, depending on what comes from HH over his game coming out, and what Watcher and a few other games do, because there are a lot of gacha games coming out and that have come out that could make very big moves into Raid's player base. You could be looking at a completely different player base and environment for this game. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.